Oh, all right. Well, let's do this Crowder thing. All right.
I just find a few anecdotes from this to be a little bit funny.
Well, we're doing this because Emma wants to do it. I mean,
look, I'm going to be honest with you. I wanted to say the word sack tap on air.
Yeah, sorry, sack tap, not slap ass.
No, not slap ass. I mean, I'm sure there's a good amount of grab ass, sack tap.
Doing Key and Peele references here.
Yeah.
so the Steven Crowder implosion continues. And let's just, before we get to this story about the NDAs, we mentioned the other day, we put up a graph, right? Well, so we put up this graph about his like viewership dropping precipitously, like almost like it's like so much that I suspect that maybe Rumble's not giving him the true viewership. Or maybe they weren't in the beginning. I don't know.
Maybe there's something a little bit inflated early on.
Yeah, or maybe they're mad at him, and that's why they're making it seem like it's so low. It's just so hard to believe that the guy joins Rumble. Of course, it's going to take a little bit of time to build an audience. It takes him like about what appears to be basically a month and a half from midway through January to the beginning of.
See, I think that the channel wasn't fully launched yet there. I think like they maybe like in that sort of February period where there's that first incline up. I think that's probably when they just started.
Right. No, yeah, that makes sense. But then within like a month, they rocket to 2.5 million views. And then it just drops like a stone, except for when it came out about his ex-wife,
the ring footage,
and I think they're really sensitive to this because they put up this graph. The Rumble came out and did this, which is really odd.
Which you can't really trust because if these platforms have financial relationships with their creators, like it's pretty clear they do for a variety of them, they're going to be incentivized to juice these numbers from a PR perspective.
And let's be clear. This says Steven Crowder reaches $7.5 million in subs for 23. Now, he turned down like, what was it, 25 million a year?
50 million over 4 years.
50 million over 4 years?
Yeah.
Was that it, really? I'm
pretty sure that's what it is.
I thought it was maybe a little bit more than that, but let's say it's 50 million for 4 years. And so he's had to add a couple of people, big names like Alex Jones and, Ryan
twins.
Callen, the Hodge twins. I don't know who that is.
Nick DiPaolo.
And Nick DiPaolo.
Wow, he's got
the name. He's had to bring a lot of people on.
Couldn't quite get Jim Brewer.
And here's the thing: is that like, do we have any more description of what this says?
Well, so look at on the Rumble description itself. Top streamer Steven Crowder surpasses 7.5 million in subscription payments within 5 months. So a little bit more specific than the Chiron.
Yeah, but it doesn't though. It seems a little bit. Let's read this thing. This is the story that was released, and it's
on Rumble.com. It's a press release.
It is a classic. Let's keep it right there for a second. Everybody knows that you release your subscription numbers 5 months in. So it's not, it's not like it's a panic situation that they're trying to change some type of narrative.
It's just a coincidence that Media Matters put out that graph.
Yeah, just a total coincidence. He has surpassed 7.5 million in subscription payments to his Mug Club community since launching his show on Rumble in March 2023 with a promotion for the 3-month free subscription. Now, here's what doesn't make sense to me. March, right? People join in March, April, May, June. Assuming they all joined in March, they got 3 months free. They haven't got 7.5 million in the bank.
Well, I don't
know. What
know.
They're saying is that annualized, this is 7.5 million, maybe.
Well, I don't know. Like it says, Rumble recognizes subscription revenue proportionally over their respective subscription term because most Mug Club subscriptions are annual. The full 7.5 million will not be recognized as revenue in Rumble's financial statements at the time the funds are collected.
Oh, so we should just trust them on their word?
So the point is that People get 3-month free. Then theoretically, the year-long subscription kicks in. He's only been on since March 2023. And we know it took a little bit to launch. So we don't know how many of those people cancel.
Mm-hmm.
And they're still waiting on the full 7.5 to be recognized.
There's no way the 7.5. That's what I was telling you before. It didn't sound right.
Well, because like I even granting, like, let's say the 7.5 million was cash they've got in already in this small period, and not right. It's not. But even if it was that, that's about where he would need to be to make it worthwhile for like Daily Wire to have given him 50 million, and he would need to keep.
Oh no, he would have needed 50 million. Let's be clear.
50 over 4.
50 over 4 is $12 million a year.
Right, and he's at about.
He's $5 million short right now, and
in 5 months.
But here's the thing. He has to continue to grow.
Yes.
What he has just done is he has gotten all of his existing audience to port over. If they haven't ported over now, they're not going to port over. There's no Mug Club members who are going like, I'm going to wait 5 months to join up again. Right. No, they all did it in the first 3 or 4 months. They didn't even have to pay. So there was no like bar to getting there. Mm-hmm. There's a reason why he comes out on August 8th and says, we've got Alex Jones now and we've got Nick DiPaolo. It's because we need to convince those people who are on freebie to stay on and not cancel once that first payment comes in, because they know.
Right.
And so the only thing that's going to happen to that $7.5 million, mark my words, is that number is going to go down.
Yep.
And then they're hoping over time they're going to attract more members on Rumble. But again, put up that graph. Yeah. If I'm looking at this and I'm going, wait a second, how are we going to attract more members?
How are you going to grow?
Our number's a fraction of what it was when we started.
Exactly.
And I got news for you. Like, I don't know if this number represents the people who subscribed, but they better hope it didn't.
Right.
They better hope this is the non-subscribers, because if this is the subscribers number, it looks like they're not liking what the product is now.
Right.
Well,
and they're certainly not attracting new audience.
It's not a coincidence that they put out that statement, just to bring it full circle, after this article came out now, and this was being widely circulated.
Maybe we will hear from some insiders.
Maybe.
At Crowder's show. Oh, well, look at this.
We did.
4 Steven Crowder staffers exit show after interrogations and insane NDAs.
Well, now
wait a second. Didn't he have a problem with an NDA being signed with Daily Wire, or am I imagining that?
Not the NDA. Not the NDA part. I think it was.
I think what the mentioning was that Candace Owens wanted to speak to people from the show who were struggling to wriggle out of their NDAs.
But NDAs are very
like not Jared and Sven Computer.
NDAs are very commonplace, so much so that it's. I mean, even like left of center organizations. Oh, right. Outside of ours. Like, it's anti-free speech, I just gotta say. Yeah.
Of course it is.
I mean,
I don't know. I think sometimes you got perfectly good reasons to want to shut people up when they leave your...
Emma's gonna pass out.
It's just, I need that pizza.
So apparently Crowder was really pissed.
Yeah.
About the whole story about them playing, what is it? Nutsack
tap.
Sack
tap.
We call it nut tap in my middle school.
And
sack tap.
So apparently they made all of their staff sign NDAs that say if you speak about the show, you will have to pay them $100,000.
And this happened after Mediaite put out their report about the drug use, the bullying, the sending of genitals to male staffers, of photos of genitals to male staffers, Crowder doing so, allegedly, the alleged placing of his genitals on other male staffers' body, like as a joke, man. But
I will let you deliver the statement that I know you want to deliver. But here, let me set it up for you. So apparently, Crowder was livid in the wake of that report. And the NDA that people had to be signed, I hereby acknowledge that said damages are reasonable. That's $100,000 liable to the company for liquidated damages in the amount of $100,000. Said damages are reasonable, do not constitute a penalty, and I further agree I will not contest the reasonableness of said liquidated damages in any action commenced by either party with respect to this amendment. So they had an amendment onto the contracts. Now, I don't know contract law that well. I don't know. There are certain provisions that are simply by law unenforceable because they are too onerous. This sounds to me like one of those, but I don't know. They were told they had to sign the NDA by that Friday. On July 27th, Crowder held a meeting in which he warned staff against speaking out. He was livid. He and Gerald, that's the CEO and his sidekick, said they knew someone was talking to the author of this piece at Mediaite. Based upon the article you wrote, they said whoever text messaged former employees about us not being able to hang out with them would be giving amnesty if we confess by 2 p.m. You believe this? This is like some type of like World War II, like a prison camp movie.
It is. I mean, it's an odd workplace in many different senses.
If no one confessed,
the CIA.
If no one confessed, they would see it as malice. No one confessed, so they started interrogating a few people.
I mean, this really sounds like the Game of Thrones, like the confess thing, like, right? The religious fundamentalist.
Yeah, exactly. This is go to like the Septa Mordain and shame. During the meeting, Crowder downplayed his sexual misconduct allegations. And just to be clear, these are separate from the sort of emotional abuse allegations from his ex-wife that were in many ways substantiated by the release of a video. I just want to make that clear. I want to be absolutely clear. And this is another source close to the soon-to-be divorced father too. So they have multiple sources.
Yes.
In the building. This has got to drive him nuts.
Very well sourced, as was her original article, which had multiple sources who verified the genitalia stuff, the harassment, all that. And here we go.
And Emma, I will allow you to provide what Crowder told the staff.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
So this is just the best part. If you're not okay with guys playing sack tap, then this isn't the place for you, the source said, Crowder told staff, referring to the act of tapping another person's genitals. After the interrogation of current staffers, 4 employees departed the company. The NDA was insane, said the source close to Crowder. Most employees were scared because of it. Some talked to lawyers about it because they were afraid, but thought that if they didn't sign, that would incriminate themselves. He was intimidating. Stevens' increasing justification of his workplace sexual behavior between men makes a lot of male employees uncomfortable. He always says it's joking, but it doesn't seem like a joke to anyone anymore. Now, like, these are obviously Crowder staffers, so they have the homophobia embedded there. Like, they're more upset about it being towards men, it seems like, embedded in the quote. But either way...
I mean, it's one thing to, put your genitals on a woman's...
it's another thing to do it to men, because that's gay. But I just love the idea, like, Crowder barking at his employees, like, you didn't meet your sack tap quota today, man. Before you leave the office, I need to touch your balls at least 5 more times before the workday is through. It's ridiculous.
I cannot tell you how much I lament the fact that in interviewing people who worked here over the years, I never said, and what's your feelings about sack tapping?
Yeah.
I mean, just as, fun.
For fun.
Or just flashing generally.
I just can't, I'm just in awe of the amount of times that Crowder has to work genitals into the workplace. It's just crazy. He's so repressed. This guy has so many issues that he has to find a variety of different ways, all under the guise of jokes, to work other people's genitalia, his employees, into into the workplace. It's bizarre.
It is bizarre.
That's
But,
all.
you know, to be fair, he's only 36. And, you know, if you can't do sack tap at the office at age 36, when can you do it?
Yeah, right.
I mean,
Yeah.
besides
What's
junior high, in like, you know, when you're in junior high and you're on the playground.
If you can't tap your employees' sacks, like, what's the point of the American Revolution?